The house is quiet, his old chair is by the window. His work boots are still in the corner, and somehow I can almost hear him not saying a word. Funny thing about fathers, sometimes the things they never say are the things you remember for the rest of your life. My father never said I'm tired. He just came home late at night, put his old coat by the doorway and made sure everything was all right. He never talked about his worries, never told me when he was afraid. He just smiled and say, "I'm fine, son," then go back to work the next day. That mellow saxophone cries so low, like an old voice I used to know. The upright bass walks through the night, brings his silence back to life. These are the things my father never said. The words that live behind his eyes. He never said, "I'm scared, son." He never said, "I'm losing sleep tonight." Oh, he never said, "I need you." He never said, "I'm proud." But somehow I always knew, even when he never said it out loud. My father never talked about tomorrow. He just worked to make today all right. He fixed the broken things around us and left his own dreams out of sight. I thought he didn't have ambitions. I thought he didn't want much from life. Now I understand that every sacrifice was another way to keep us alive. Guitar begins to cry beneath the tired midnight sky. Every bend becomes his voice, every note brings back my childhood years. These are the things my father never said. The words I finally understand. He never said I gave up everything. He never said I did the best I can. Oh, he never asked for recognition, never needed praise from me. He just stood there, quietly carrying everything our family needed. Checking every lock before I sleep, saving money for a rainy day. My children ask me why I worry, why I always tell them be careful. Suddenly I hear my father's voice coming through my own mouth, clear as yesterday. He never said, "I love you, son," but he woke before the sunrise. He never said, "I believe in you," but he taught me how to stand. He never said, "I'll always be here," but every time I fell, he was there. Maybe some fathers don't speak love, maybe they build it with their hands. These are the things my father never said, and now I hear them everywhere, in the sound of an old screen door, in the rain falling on his chair. He said, "I love you." With every morning he went to work, he said, "I'm proud of you." Every time he put my needs first. And though his voice is gone, his words are still alive, because everything he never said is written in the man I became tonight. Every time I come home, I miss my father. The road back home is quiet tonight. Same old highway, same old street lights, but somehow every time I come home, I miss my father. I turn the corner by the old oak tree and see that porch light glow. The house looks smaller than I remember, but it still feels like home. I park beneath the window where his old chair used to be, and before I even open the door, I feel him waiting there for me. That mellow saxophone cries so low, like an old voice I used to know. The upright bass walks through the night and brings his memory back to life. Every time I come home, I miss my father. Every road I take somehow leads me back to him. In the hallway, I see a shadow by the door. Every time I come home, I miss him a little more. The kitchen still smells like coffee when the rain comes through the screen. I can almost hear him laughing something on the TV. His old tools are in the corner. His coat still hangs behind the door. Funny how an empty house can feel more crowded than before. That old guitar begins to cry beneath the tired midnight sky. Every bend becomes his voice. Every note brings back my childhood years. Every time I come home, I miss my father. I sit down in his old chair and remember who I was. Oh, I wish I could hear him say, "Son, you're finally home." But the house stays quiet, and I sit there all alone. When he used to wait for me, standing by that front door, checking the clock at 3. Back then I thought he worried too much. I couldn't understand. Now I find myself doing the same things, waiting, listening, hoping my children make it home again. That's when I finally understood him. He wasn't asking where I'd been. He was saying, "I love you," without knowing how to say it. He wasn't trying to hold me back. He was trying to keep me safe. And every time I come home now, I hear those words in the silence of this place. Every time I come home, I miss my father. Every room still carries a little piece of him. Oh, the house may be quiet, the old chair may be cold, but the love he left behind is something time can never take away. Every time I come home, I don't feel alone, because somewhere in these walls, my father's love still feels like home. Like home. The road back home is quiet tonight. Same old highway, same old street lights, but somehow every time I come home, I miss my father. I turn the corner by the old oak tree and see that porch light glow. The house looks smaller than I remember, but it still feels like home. I park beneath the window where his old chair used to be, and before I even open the door, I feel him waiting there for me. That mellow saxophone cry. finally quiet, my little boy is sleeping down the hall. And I'm sitting here with an old photograph in my hand. My father's face, a little tired, a little distant. I used to wonder why he was that way tonight. I finally know. When I was young, I blamed my father for every rule he made. I thought he didn't understand me. I thought he was afraid. He'd tell me be home before midnight. I'd roll my eyes and walk away, never knowing he stayed awake till he heard me come through the gate. That mellow saxophone cry solo, like an old voice I used to know. The upright bass walks through the night, and suddenly it all feels right. I understood my father when I became a father too. When I held my baby in my arms, I finally knew, why he worried, why he waited, why he never slept at night. He wasn't trying to hold me back, he was trying to keep me alive. I stand beside the door. I hear the key turn in the lock, and I don't breathe till he's home. I tell him, be careful out there. He says, Dad, I know. And suddenly I hear my father from 30 years ago. Begins to cry beneath the tired midnight sky. Every bend becomes his voice, every note brings back my childhood years. I understood my father when I became a father too. All those words I thought were anger were just love coming through. He showed me with his hands, and now I'm doing the same things, trying hard to be the man he was. Kitchen table, counting every dollar twice, trying to make a little money, stretch a little food through the night. I thought he never wanted anything. I thought he didn't dream at all. Now I sit at that same table, worrying about my children's future, and I understand it all. He wasn't perfect, neither am I. He made mistakes, so will I. But love doesn't always come wrapped in pretty words. Sometimes it comes as a tired man working late. Sometimes it comes as a father waiting by the door until his child comes home. I understood my father when I became a father too. Now every sleepless night I have feels like something he went through. I see his face in the mirror. I hear his voice when I speak. And every time I hold my children, I feel the love he couldn't speak. I understood my father a little too late, but I understand him now. And if heaven lets him hear me, I hope he knows I'm proud to be his son. I opened the closet tonight, and there it was, hanging in the dark. My father's old coat, the same one he wore through 100 cold mornings. Funny how a piece of old cloth can bring a man back to life. That coat was hanging by the doorway every winter, every year. He put it on before the sunrise, when the morning air was cold and clear. There was grease along the pocket and a tear beside the sleeve. He never bought another one. He said, "This one's good enough for me." That mellow saxophone cries so low, like an old voice I used to know. The upright bass walks through the night and brings his memory back to life. My father's old coat is hanging by the door. I can still smell the winter, I can still hear his footsteps on the floor. Oh, he wore it through the hard times. He wore it through the rain. Now I hold that old coat close around his throat. His hands were rough and tired, but they always felt so warm. That old coat was more than clothing, it was shelter from the storm. That old guitar begins to cry beneath the tired midnight sky. Every band becomes his voice, every note brings back those years. My father's old coat still carries his name. The fabric's getting thinner, but the memories stay the same. Oh, I thought it was just an old coat, something he wore every day. Now I'd give anything to see him put it on and walk through that doorway again. Strange comes over me. For one brief second, the man looking back looks a little like he used to be. I wish I could ask him where he bought that coat, how many winters it carried him through, how many mornings he left the house tired but never let us see it. I wish I could tell him I understand now. Every cold morning, every long night, every mile he walked was for us. My father's old coat still hangs there in the hall. It's warm, it's faded, but it never really left us at all. Oh, I don't wear it for the winter, I wear it when I miss him most. Because somehow, inside that old coat, I still feel the man I call my father. By the door, the house is quiet, the rain is falling, just like those winter nights when I used to come home. I'd touch the sleeve and whisper, "Good night, Dad." Maybe one day my children will find this old coat and wonder why I kept it. I hope they understand some things are too full of love to ever throw away. The coat may be old, the leather may crack, the fabric may fade, but the man who wore it will always be there. Every time I open that closet, every time I open that closet, that coat they understand. Some things are too full of love. The city is quiet tonight. I got an old book sitting on the table, pages yellow, words fading. Funny thing, the older I get, the more I realize the most important lessons were never written in a book. No book ever taught me how it feels to lose a friend. No teacher ever showed me how to know when love has reached its end. Nobody taught me how to say goodbye when somebody leaves your life, or how to keep your heart from breaking when you're standing alone at night. That mellow saxophone cries so low, like an old voice I used to know. The upright bass walks through the night, and every memory feels alive. These are the lessons no book ever taught me, the ones I learned the hard way. How to lose, how to love, how to bend, how to stay. Life wrote every chapter with tears and time and pain. The lessons no book ever taught me are the ones that made me who I am today. Can't buy back 1 minute with a dying man. I learned that working every hour doesn't mean you've lived the best you can. I learned that children grow up faster than any father wants to know, and the people sitting next to you may be the ones you miss the most. That old guitar begins to cry beneath the tired midnight sky. Every bend becomes a scar, every note reminds me who we are. These are the lessons no book ever taught me. Don't wait too long to say I love you. Don't save every good thing for tomorrow. Tomorrow doesn't promise you. Hold the ones who hold you. Forgive before it's too late, because time doesn't turn around and regret. Don't wait at the gate. Sometimes love is quiet hands. A mother can hide 1,000 worries behind a smile you don't understand. I learned that being strong ain't easy, and asking for help ain't weakness. Sometimes the bravest thing a man can do is finally admit that he's tired. Nobody gave me a chapter on how to forgive myself for all the roads I should have taken, for all the people I couldn't help. But life kept turning pages, even when I didn't want to read. And every painful lesson was planting something inside of me. These are the lessons no book ever taught me, and now I wouldn't trade them away. Every scar, every goodbye, every lonely night had something to say. Oh, life isn't about knowing every answer. It's learning what really matters. Hold your family, tell them you love them, and don't wait until the door is closed forever. These are the lessons no book ever taught me, but somehow they're the ones that taught me how to live.